Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at r/biotech and seeing what advice can be given to a recent graduate who'd like people to take a look at her resume. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, I've been looking for a job since December 2022. I had a 6-month contract position at a lab in March, and I loved it, but it was shift work. Since my contract's been over, I haven't been able to find another job, and I'm sure it's something to do with my resume. Recently, I've been looking into biotech and wanted to see if there's anything I can do to my resume to land a new position. Thanks in advance. Skills section is fluff and very transparent. Needs work. You have skills in QA, quality assurance, project management, product management. No, you don't. Also, data entry and data collection / input seems the same. These types of things makes me toss resumes out quickly. Be honest with the skills section of the skills you have. First couple of things I noticed. 1. You don't actually list what your BS degree is in under education, just that you have one. For example, if you majored in biochemistry, it should say something like Bachelor's of Science, biochemistry. 2. Some of your descriptions under jobs / internships are vague and don't actually describe what you did. Participated in experience or perform specialized tests tells me absolutely nothing about your experience level or skills. How did you participate, and what type of experiments? What type of specialized testing did you perform? What type of equipment do you have experience maintaining? If explaining that is too difficult or wordy, you could also briefly note the overarching research goal / topic of your work at each place, as that also may give readers more of a clue as to the type of work you performed. Anything at your current job, use active voice. Everything in former jobs, use past tense. Also, general rule, keep your resume to 1 page. No 2-page resumes unless you're freaking amazing and applying for a high-level position. You don't need to list your high school. It doesn't matter. As others have said, your skills are too generic. Surely you've been working with specific lab equipment to doing specific experiments. What are they? I already assume you know how to use Word, otherwise it would be hard to write a resume. I also don't believe that you have project management experience based upon your prior roles. There's no mention of you managing a single project, and you're too junior to really have that skill set. Might be worth just cutting the non-relevant jobs. If I was hiring a lab tech or research associate, I wouldn't really read what you did as a nursery manager. It just doesn't matter. I honestly care more about your internships. The bullet points under the jobs you held are too generic. For instance, what is specialized testing? What laboratory equipment did you maintain? And focus on adding accomplishments here. Regardless, I don't really know what skills you have. For instance, will I need to teach you cell culture? Will you be able to isolate DNA? Can you run an ELISA for me? Lastly, ask for advice from people you worked with in the contract role. They know better than us and can probably tell you something more specific you should include. I would reach out to your career center at your uni to help with some of this. For example, gave in-person and virtual instruction to over 30 high school students in the fields of mathematics and science. Impersonal isn't a word, and high school math and science shouldn't be capitalized. You tutored kids, but that description didn't convey it well. Tutored 30 plus students in math and science, leading to an average grade increase of 10%, according to the bullet point that followed that. To be competitive, you really need to comb through this because simple errors can come across sloppy. The Career Center should be able to help you spot these errors and tighten up your language to be clear, concise, and grammatically correct. Good luck. I agree with what others suggested here. Personally, I don't like seeing the skills, especially for someone straight out of school. It's virtually useless. Remove them and maybe add them at the end if you have space. You need more specifics on what you actually did. People want measurable accomplishments. Even if you didn't feel like you did anything spectacular, you can put metrics to show off, like say you processed and analyzed 3,000 samples a month for X project. When I was a college intern at a biotech company, I also included stuff like an award I got for synthesizing X grams of material for animal studies in 99.8% purity. Stuff like that feels more measurable, if that makes sense. Hiring managers just sort of want to see if you understand what you worked on and if you were a reliable worker. When you start working somewhere, you have to write goals every year, and many companies talk about making them SMART goals. It's an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. You can use this idea to tighten up your bullet points if possible, to give more color to what you are actually doing and why. I want to thank everyone for their feedback. I'm surprised I got a job at all, given some of the comments. I revised my resume to the following. I also emailed my previous supervisors to schedule a meeting to discuss some of the specifics of all my internships. I took the advice of someone above and messaged my co-workers for my contract work to ask about the specifics and what I could mention about the plant. I honestly could tell you the name of a lot of the machines we worked with. At minimum, there were 15 or procedures, but if I went back today, I could perform every task with proficiency. Once you knew what to mix and how to do this and that, it was pretty monotonous. Hopefully, this will be a better template to use for my resume. Once I talk with all of them in the coming week, it will be as good as it will ever be. Thanks again. So I'll just go ahead and leave this resume up here on screen. So please feel free to take a look at all the progress this person's made. The link to the Reddit post itself and to the resume, which is in the Reddit post, will be in the description. Hey OP, just want to say great job taking the comments and adjusting your resume. Reading it now, I have a much better idea of your technical capabilities and your scientific experiences. Just want to say great job, OP. It will be so much easier for hiring managers to see what you've accomplished and can be capable of from your resume now. Well, OP, you seem to have done great with the advice that you've gotten, and I'd like to say thank you for letting me post this on the channel. Hopefully someone else will be able to make use of this advice and improve their resume. We all know the market's rough right now, particularly in biotech.